Hello everyone, I hope you're having a fantastic weekend. Thank you for joining me. Today I'm going to be doing 10 cards with one kit. This is the C&CT Stamp November card kit. It's called Kind Flowers and it's a beautiful kit, and I wanted to show you briefly what came in the kit. And so, a lot of golds and pinks and browns and greens in this kit, and I really loved it. Now, all the C&CT stamp kits come with an inspiration sheet, 6 photos of some beautiful cards that are made by their design team, and then you get your cardstock. You get green, apple green leaf, cream, and dark chocolate. And then you get 3 specialty papers. These are embossed papers, which are gorgeous. This is like a pearl color. This is a beautiful silver. And then you also get a real pretty bronze floral embossed paper. Just gorgeous. Now, the kit is still available. I'll leave a link below to where you can check it out. And then you also, in this kit, get 18 single-sided pattern papers. These pattern papers are gorgeous. They're from the Heart of Home collection from Pebbles. And they have beautiful gold accents on some of the sheets. And I thought it was just very elegant and very pretty. So a lot of fun little images, and there's a lot of cut-aparts too. You got tags, more cut-aparts. So it's a great card making kit. So those are your pattern papers. And then you get a sticker sheet. It's coordinates. It's the Pebbles Heart of Home collection sticker sheet. And these are cardstock stickers. And these also have gold accents. They're really pretty. Now you get a bag of gold leaf accents. Real pretty. And then you get a very large, it's a 6x8 stamp set. Now, I love the floral images in here. It's a kindness theme with flowers. It's so pretty. And I like the smaller accents that you can add to the larger sentiments. So that's everything that came in the kit. Oh, no, you get the die too. The die will cut out the word kind. So that's also included. Now, I added 2 gray card bases for my stash, and we're going to jump in with card number 1. Now, card number 1, I'm taking this beautiful pattern paper. Now I'm going to leave that top edge, it's a pink and white stripe, I'm going to leave that on there. I really kind of like the way those two go together, so I'm just going to leave that there. Now I'm going to take a rectangle die from my stash and cut out a window, and then I did pop that up with some foam tape. Now for the inside of the window, I thought this little love grows here sentiment would go really nice. I'm going to trim that down. For this card, I'm going to use my gray card base. Now that's the one I added that was for my stash. But I thought the gray went really pretty with the pink. So I'm just going to use my tape runner and adhere that directly in the middle. And then I'm going to pop up that panel over the center of there. Now you did see I added some white jute cord and tied a bow on the bottom there, just to cover the seam. Now for an accent, there's a pretty little bird on a floral twig with some pink roses. I thought that went really well, so I just popped that up and I'm going to adhere that to my panel. I added a little bit of glossy accents to the center of the flowers on that pattern paper behind there. And that's it for card number 1. Very simple, but I thought it was so pretty. Now for card number 2. I love this tree, and I wanted to make a card with this. So using the tree trunk as a guide, I'm going to trim it down and create a panel. Now, I grabbed a piece of brown cardstock from my stash, and I'm going to mat my image on that brown cardstock there. Just going to use my tape runner and adhere that right in the center, so there's brown edges on the left and right. And then I'm going to stamp the word kind using some Versamark ink on a piece of the brown cardstock from my stash as well. Now I'm going to be using some classic gold embossing powder by Nuvo for both sentiments. Now I'm also going to grab a small strip of that brown cardstock and finish off the sentiment that says thank you for your kindness. And I'm going to do the same thing with the classic gold embossing powder. I'm going to heat set both of those at the same time. And I did trim that down to a small strip. But I love the brown and the gold together. I think it's just so elegant. Okay, now I did want to color in the inside of that kind with a color. So I decided to use my peeled paint Distress Oxide ink and my Wink of Stella. I'm going to pick up that ink with my Wink of Stella brush and go on the inside of the word kind, just to color that in. Now I had to do it like 3 or 4 times because the color kept fading. And at the end I ended up adding glossy accents just to seal in that color. I wanted this color to match the green apple card base. I'm going to add a little bit more. My washi tape pulled that color off. Okay. Now I popped that panel up with some foam tape, and I'm going to adhere that to my green apple card base. And I did add foam tape behind the smaller sentiment strip, and I'm going to place that right over the tree. Lovely. I'm going to add the word kind just to the right of the card, and then from the stickers there's a few butterflies, and so I decided to add the smaller one. I'm just going to use my anti-static powder tool to remove the tackiness off of that sticker, and then I added a dimensional adhesive to that. For finishing touches, I went through my stash and I found some green gems. I added just 3 of them here and there on that card, and that card's finished. Now moving on to card number 2, I wanted to use that beautiful floral image with the word kind in the middle. I am going to, and that's the doggy trying to get in the screen door. Sorry about that. But I added Versamark ink to my stamped image, and then I'm going to go in with some hot chocolate Nouveau embossing powder. And then I did stamp 4 of the flowers here. And I did the same thing with the hot chocolate embossing powder. Now to color these images in, I decided to use my distress inks. I used a few colors, and I listed them up in the left corner there for you. But I wanted to go for a soft and subtle pinks and greens and corals. So I did take the mustard seed and added that with the pink just to create a real pretty soft coral. But I'm just going to color it in. I'm just going to show you that I colored in the word kind, and then I did color in the rest just to save a little bit of time for this video, since they do run a little bit long. Okay, so all my images are colored in, and I think that looks very pretty. Now I trimmed down the panel there and popped it up with some dimensional foam tape, and then I did stamp and cut out the word kind, and then I fussy cut out the little flowers. Now I wanted to add another one of the smaller sentiments, so I drew a line with my pencil just so I could help get it straight, and I'm going to stamp the one that says "You are one of a kind," and then I added just some glacier white embossing powder from Nouveau, and then heat set that. I'm going to erase my pencil mark, and then I'm going to pop my panel up right over that bottom sentiment. It's almost in the middle. Lovely. I'm going to pop up my word kind and place that right over the existing kind on that panel. I guess my doggy gave up on opening the screen door. Usually he's pretty good about it. We need to get a low handle for him. But I'm going to add the flowers that I fussy cut out here. The larger ones I just adhere directly on my card base, and then the smaller ones I'm going to pop up with some dimensional adhesive. I did have to trim down the flowers a little bit so they would tuck underneath the sentiment. But I'm going to add 3 of the green stickers that are on the sticker sheet. And then just to bring the brown all together, I'm going in, I think this is Chocolate Fondue Nouveau glitter drops. I'm filling in all the centers of the flowers with those. And then just for a splash of white, I'm going in with my white gel pen, and I'm going to add dots of white here and there. And that's it for that card. I think that one's so pretty. Now, moving on to card number 4, I'm going to use my Stitch rectangle die and cut out a panel with this beautiful floral paper, and then a smaller rectangle die for this gingham, this pink gingham paper. And then I'm going to cut out this little cut apart that says Choose Joy. I think that's really pretty. And then I'm going to adhere the gingham paper to the floral paper at a diagonal. And then I grabbed the house, one of the house, I think there's 3 house stickers, but I'm going to grab one of them, the smaller one that has the tree next to it. And I popped it up with my fun foam and placed that on my panel there. Lovely. I'm going to tuck my little card there right behind the house at a diagonal too. This is like a little collage card. And I think I love doing the collage cards, actually. I like piecing together bits and pieces and elements. So I added that, and then I added the heart that says You Are My Home, and then I took the 2 roses that were in the stickers and I popped them up and placed them on there too. Now it needs a little bit of greenery. Well, I was going to say greenery, but I decided to add the gold leaf up in that top corner there, and then the green leaf right by the heart down there. Now I'm going to pop this entire panel up with some foam tape, and then I'm going to place it directly on my card base. Now for this card base I did use a white card base for my stash. And then I did double up on my jute cord, tied a bow on the bottom, added a few itty bitty dots of honey gold nouveau glitter drops. But that's it for that card. Now for card number 5, very simple card again. I cut out a frame using some vanilla cardstock, and I'm going to adhere that directly to the green leaf card base, right in the center. Now once I have that done, I went through the pattern papers and I wanted this tag that said Just For You. I cut it out and I did punch a hole in the very top part of it. And then I really like this floral sticker here. I added a bow to my tag and placed that inside of my frame, and then popped up my floral image and placed that in the corner. I wanted to cover up the bottom of that tag, and so at the very top part of the sticker sheet there's this honeycomb sticker. So I just added that to the bottom of the tag. Now I added my floral image, and then I wanted to add the Happy Day sticker to the bottom there. And I'm just using some dimensional adhesive to pop that up. And you can see I added the heart stickers. I layered the gold one and the pink one together. I'm going to add a few of the gold leaves there. I'm just adhering them to the card with some glue dots. And that's it for that card. Okay, now we're going to, this is probably my favorite. I don't think the camera does it very much justice, but I'm going to use this embossed paper, and I cut out 2 of the flowers that were in it. I think there was only 2 whole flowers, and I cut them both out. For this card I'm going to be using the dark chocolate card base. I'm going to place the entire card base in my Mini Misty, and I'm going to stamp the word kindness. I'm going to use my Versamark ink, sorry, I always get them mixed up. But I just stamped it with Versamark ink, and then I'm going to go over it with some Glacier White embossing powder. Now if you had a vanilla or a cream colored embossing powder, I think this would work really pretty. But white worked just fine for me. So there it is. And then now I'm going to take what's left over from that paper, and I'm going to tear off a corner. And I love the tear that this paper makes. It's kind of fluffy. I don't know if you can tell, but it looked really neat. So there's my corner. I'm going to go in with some Vintage Photo Distress ink and going around all the edges of this paper that I tore, and then also the embossed paper that I had cut out I want to go over all the edges. I'm just going to directly adhere this torn piece of paper to the corner of my card base, and then I'm going to pop up the other roses. Now I did end up cutting off some of the leaves because they were overhanging, but I kept the leaves, and then I tucked the remaining of them underneath the floral images after I arranged my flowers. Lovely. So there's that. And then I want to finish off the kindness with the smaller sentiment that says, be courageous and kind. And so I'm just using some vanilla cardstock. And then I'm just going in with my rich cocoa ink from Memento. I'm going to stamp on the bottom of that cardstock, and then I want to trim it down. I'll place that right below the kindness. And I didn't want to add anything else because I thought the paper was so elegant. So that's it for that card. Now for card number 7, I'm using, this is watercolor, Canson XL watercolor paper. I used my rectangle die to trace around it. I needed kind of like a center point or a guide to know where to stamp. Now in the stamp set there's some leaf flourishes. I used a few of those in this bottom left hand corner, and then I added some white embossing powder. Now I kind of skipped that part because you couldn't see where I was stamping anyway, but I just heat set that with white embossing glacier white embossing powder. Now I'm going to do some ink smooshing. I'm so not good at ink smooshing, but this turned out so pretty. I was proud of myself. So I added some, this is spun sugar, to my craft mat here, and then I went in with some shabby shutters, and then actually no, I went in with some twisted citron and some mowed lawn, kind of mushed them together, and then I did this in steps. So I did the spun sugar first, and then I dried it, and then I went in with the greens, and then I dried it, and then now I'm going in with the blue. Now I used Salty Ocean and Ice Spruce. I just blended them together to create like a soft blue. But so that's my panel there. Now I'm taking that same rectangle die that I used to trace around, and I cut out my panel, and I love how the white just pops in the background. Now I pop that up with some foam tape, and I'm going to place that on the green apple cardstock right in the middle. And I think the colors just go so perfect together. Now I kept this card pretty simple because I really like the way the background turned out. So I'm grabbing this gold flower here, and then 2 of the gold sentiments that say love and kindness, and I just popped them up with some dimensional adhesive and placed them in the corner there. Now I did add a few of my clear, these are Pretty Pink Posh's, I think they're 3mm crystal clear sequins. They're really pretty. They look like diamonds. And I'm going to add a few here and there. And then that was it for that card. Lovely. Now we're going to move on to card number 8. I'm taking an oval die. I found this is the best way to create like a hillside scene. And I'm going to cut out this silver embossed paper here. Now I'm going to place half of it on a panel I cut out using the pink and white hearts. I'm going to use my tape runner and adhere it, and then I'm going to trim around it, and then I'm going to take the leftover and place it right on top, and then do a little more trimming. And I think that makes a pretty neat little hill. I think it looks kind of like rocks. Now I'm going to grab the larger house and place that on my panel. I was going to add a tree and then change my mind. To cover up that seam, I'm adding more of my white jute cord there, just tying a bow. Oh, actually, no, this one's not jute cord. This is actually pink and white baker's twine. A real soft pink. But it covers up that area that wasn't long enough. Okay, and I did add the home banner up in the corner. Now I'm going to add some foam tape behind here and place that on my gray card base. Now I did add the foam banner, but changed my mind. I didn't like it there. So I cut out this pattern paper. I'm going to make a banner out of this, and I'm going to place that in that corner over there, just using my tape runner. And then also I have a piece of the pink pattern paper. I'm going to fishtail the end of that one and kind of do 3 little banners all together there in the corner. Lovely. Now I wanted to do a little bit more for the sentiment, so in the sticker sheet I'm going to cut apart this sticker here. Now this one says we are family, but I didn't want all the flourish around it, so I'm just trimming that out, and I fishtailed the end. And that's it for that card. Now for card number 9, I'm going to use this beautiful bronze embossed paper. Now I'm going to cut out a rectangle that will fit in the corner of my card base. Okay. Now for the card base for this one, I'm going to use the green leaf, and I'm going to go all the way in that top right corner there. I'm taking my Memento Rich Cocoa ink, and I'm stamping the sentiment that says kind of adore you a lot right on the bottom of that brown or the bronze paper there. And then I'm going to stamp another sentiment that says kindness begins with love on the top part there. Lovely. Now I'm going to add some more stickers. Now I really like this butterfly sticker, so I popped that up along with the green leaf flourish in the stickers. And then I'm taking the other the larger butterfly that's in the stickers, and I'm going to add that with the dimensional adhesive. I think right there looks great. Now to finish it off, I'm adding some faux stitching around the edges, and I did add some gems to the center of the butterflies. And that's it for that card. Now for my final card, I'm going to be using the cream colored card base, and I want to do some stamping directly on the card base. So I'm going to grab my stamp platform here, and I'm going to take that beautiful large floral image, and I'm going to go basically in the center of the card base. Now I am going to be using some Memento Rich Cocoa ink to stamp my image. I'm going to actually stamp it twice just to make sure it's a nice vivid impression. Now I'm going to take a piece of Post-it tape, and I'm going to cover that small cluster of flowers. I'm going to use that as a mask. I actually want the flowers to go completely across the bottom of this card base. So I'm adding some more Rich Cocoa ink, and I stamped it. And then I'm going to cut out that mask. Lovely. I'm going to place that back on those flowers, and then I'm going to add a few of the leaves that are in the stamp set. I wanted to make sure that this image went directly across the bottom. And then there's a little dot cluster in the stamp set. I'm going to add a few little dots here and there using the same ink. Lovely. I'm going to remove my mask. Okay, now I'm going to trim off that bottom part. Oh no, I colored it in. Completely skipped that part, but I just used some pinks to color it in. So, and I did use my alcohol markers to color in these images. And the dots, I did actually use a real pretty blue, a soft blue. So I fussy cut out the bottom part of this card, and I missed a few of those dots, so I'm coloring them in. But for the I fussy cut out the bottom of the card, and then I'm going to place that bronze embossed paper underneath it. Now you can see here I used the die to cut out that word kind, and then I am going to pop that up now. I had already adhered the brown paper behind the top part of my card base, and then I'm going to add the kind right over that opening there. I just love that. I think that looks so pretty. Now to finish it off, I'm going to go in each of those little dots with glossy accents. But I did take the sentiment that says you are one of a kind, and I stamped it on this vanilla cardstock, and I basically cut it into 2 different parts. Finishing touches, I'm adding some Spectrum Noir shimmer to the flowers, and then here's where I went in with the glossy accents. And then that's it for that card. So those are the 10 cards I made using the November kit from C&CT Stamp. I hope this inspires you and gives you some ideas on what to do with the kit. I think it's a very elegant and pretty kit. Great for your stash. Let me know what you think. If you like this tutorial, give me a thumbs up, and if you're new and want to see more, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Now down below there's a little bell. If you want to be notified every time I post a video, click on that bell. That way every time I post one, you'll be notified. I wish you a fantastic day, guys. We'll see you again real soon. Bye-bye.